I heard.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining in. This is Talk with the Doc live with Dr. Nicole Edwards. I am your board certified family medicine physician, and I'm so glad that you're here and joining me. We are back with Talk with the Doc, a live show where we are helping people become whole person healthy, mind, body, spirit, and finances. Like I said, I'm Dr. Nicole Edwards, board certified family medicine physician. I specialize in managing and treating chronic medical conditions and explaining those conditions in terms that everyday people can understand. Through my books and my programs and my concierge medical practice, I help everyday people, busy professionals, and parents just like yourself to become whole person healthy, mind, body, spirit, and finances, so that you can become better for yourself and for the people around you, your children, your communities, and your congregations. Thank you so much again for joining me. I am going to request that you do two things. One is that you go ahead and click like and share and subscribe to the channel so that you can get updates on when we're going to be going live. Talk with the Doc is going to be back every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Sunday. So I would love for you guys to join in. Please go ahead and send in your questions that you want to talk about. Send in your information, and we will be chatting with you live right here on YouTube. All right, thank you so much again for joining me today. Again, please click like, share, and subscribe, and get this out to all of your friends, anybody who's watching. All right, guys, it is, one more thing. We are being sponsored today by Abundant Life Concierge Medicine and Abundantly Natural. Abundantly Natural is an all-natural health, wellness, and supplement line where they help people to become their best selves using all natural vitamins and supplements. We are being brought to you today by Abundantly Natural. So thank you so much, Abundantly Natural. And we will be giving you some information about some coupon codes for the month of February that you can use. All right, so it is Heart Health Month. I know that the American Heart Association did wear a red outfit or wear a red dress today. I know a lot of congregations wore red today, and Friday they did National Wear Red Day in honor of heart disease. Heart disease is the number one killer of Americans, and also of especially women. All right, so heart disease, that can be heart attacks, strokes, heart failure, heart disease in general. So we are wanting to come this month and talk about all things about having a healthy heart. So thank you so much again for joining me. I do want to talk just briefly about blood pressure. Now, I know last week we talked about risk factors for heart disease. Risk factors, things like your age, things like your race, things like your family history. Those are things that you can't change, but there's overarching things that you can change. You can stop smoking, you can lower your BMI, you can become more active, you can eat healthy. Those are the things that you can change in terms of risk factors. So today, what I want to talk to you is about one of the main causes of heart disease, which is high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. All right, and I'm going to break down hypertension for you really quick, like I said, in terms that everyday people can understand. So let's break it down. High blood pressure is when your blood pressure is elevated, all right? So what is blood pressure? Blood pressure consists of two numbers. There's the systolic number, that's the number on the top, and then the diastolic number, that's the number on the bottom, all right? So the systolic is the number on the top. That's the pressure that your heart has to push against when the heart is trying to get the blood out of the heart, all right? So the amount of pressure in the arteries that the heart has to push against, that's called the systolic number. All right, the diastolic number is the number that the heart, when the heart relaxes, that is the pressure that's in that ventricle, so that if that pressure is too high, then the blood can't come back into the heart to then be pushed back out when it squeezes. All right, so you want to make sure that you have a normal blood pressure both on the top number and the bottom number. I see so many people who are like, oh, my top number is fine, so I don't really care about the bottom number. No, you have to care about both numbers, all right? And I'm going to tell you here what both numbers should be in a moment. But the reason why that bottom number is just as important as the top number is that if that bottom number is elevated, then that's the diastolic. If that number is elevated, then your heart is not relaxing. And if your heart doesn't relax, then it doesn't fill with blood. Then that blood can't be pushed out when the heart squeezes again. If your heart is not filling with blood, then what's happening to that blood? Right, it's backing up. It's backing up into your lungs, it's backing up into your ankles, it's backing up into your legs, and that's why people are getting these big, huge swollen ankles. And when people have heart failure, that's why they become very swollen all over. All right, so you want to make sure that that top number, the systolic, is normal and the bottom number is normal. So what is a normal blood pressure? The American, JNHC, it's a national council for that decides what are the normal numbers and not. They recently changed, I believe that was 2 years ago, they changed what is considered a normal blood pressure. We used to say as long as you were below 140 on the top and below 90 on the bottom that it was normal. That has now changed, all right? So now I'm going to pull up a slide real quick and I'm going to show you what is considered a normal blood pressure. A normal blood pressure is 120s or below on that top number, all right? And you want to be, honestly, less than 80 on that bottom number. So you want to be, really optimal is to be below 120. So that's the 100s and the 110s, all right? So below 120 on the top number or the systolic and below 80 on the bottom number. If you are between 120 and 129 or in the 80s, then that's technically considered elevated, right? You didn't know that, right? Oh, so my 128 over 85 blood pressure, that's not normal? No, technically that's elevated, right? And then if you're starting to go above the 130s on the top number and into the 90s on the bottom number, you now have stage 1 hypertension, all right? And hypertension or high blood pressure is one of the leading causes of heart disease. We also call hypertension or high blood pressure the silent killer, because oftentimes you don't get symptoms when your blood pressure is elevated. Now, some people say, okay, when my blood pressure is really high, they can get headaches, they can get blurred vision, they can get a little short of breath, they can feel like their heart is racing, they can feel dizzy, but usually your blood pressure is very, very, very elevated. We're talking stage 2 hypertension or hypertensive crisis when those things start to happen. Usually when that's happening already, it's a little bit too late, all right? And the more pressure we put on the heart and the more the heart has to work harder and harder and harder, eventually it's going to be like any other muscle, it's going to get tired, all right? And we don't want our hearts pooping out. We need our hearts to stay healthy and stay alive, and we want them to keep pumping, all right? Well, so what kind of things can you do with your blood pressure? Number one, the things we talked about last week. You can exercise, all right? You can make sure that you're staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water. You can eat a heart-healthy diet, which means you're eating less calories and less high sodium foods, all right? And then you can lower your stress levels. That's a big one, guys. We're going to talk about that today. If you are on blood pressure medications, before we get there, let's talk about checking your blood pressure. You should check your blood pressure, all right? Because again, hypertension is the silent killer, and a lot of times you don't know that your blood pressure is elevated. So check your blood pressure. When you go to the pharmacy, go ahead and sit in that blood pressure machine and let your arm check your blood pressure. Now we know that the arm cuffs are more accurate than the wrist cuffs, but if you have a wrist cuff, go ahead and check that as well. All right, and make sure that you're going to your doctor at least 1 to 2 times per year for a checkup or just for a wellness visit so that we can see what your blood pressure is looking like. All right, if you are found to have high blood pressure, please take your medicine, okay? We're not gonna just go to the apple cider vinegar cocktails and the smoothies and things that people drink. Those things can help to improve your blood pressure, yes, but if you are found to have high blood pressure, please, and you are put on medications, take your medicines, right? Take your medicine, take it every day, take it at the same time if you can every day, and listen to your doctor, not to your friend Susie down the street who works in a nurse's office or works in a doctor's office and told you what you could take. No, take what your doctor tells you to take, all right? Also, there are supplements out there that can help you with improving your blood pressure, okay? Now, I didn't say not to take the supplements. I said don't only rely on the supplements if you have been prescribed a blood pressure medication, all right? So we're gonna do all things well, all right? So certain supplements that can help you with lowering your blood pressure, things like fish oils, okay? CoQ10, all right? These are some supplements that help to improve the blood flow to the heart and decrease the resistance in the blood vessels. All right, so I do have a supplement. It is called, I told you guys we are being sponsored by Abundantly Natural. Abundantly Natural does have a supplement. We call it Sweetheart Support. All right, and it just helps to promote healthy blood sugars and healthy blood pressures. All right, and Sweetheart Support, it's there on the screen there, and you can get that at drnicoledo.com/shop. And again, that's got the CoQ10 and some other natural supplements in it to help improve the cardiovascular supply to your heart. That one is the heart support, and we also have Sweetheart Support as well. All right, so take your supplements, exercise, eat a low sodium diet, and remember guys, there's a lot of sodium in a lot of things, and so it's not just adding the salt on the table salt, but also look at the things that you're cooking with and make sure that your sodium numbers are low. You can buy things that have lower sodium content in it, because sodium, we know, increases the blood pressure, and we're all about trying to improve our hearts, improve our blood pressures, so that we can be around for a long time for our children and for our communities and for ourselves. All right, now I also talked to you guys about lowering stress. All right, because stress is a big proponent of increasing your blood pressure, all right, and increasing your cardiovascular disease in general. We do know that when when you're under a lot of stress, you are releasing a hormone called cortisol. All right, cortisol does a lot of stuff. It increases our blood, it increases our heart rate, so our heart beats faster. It increases our blood pressure. All right, it increases our belly fat. So if you have a lot of cortisol, if you're under a lot of stress, it can increase your belly fat. So if you're trying to lose weight, lower your stress levels. All right, it can cause headaches, it can cause blurred vision, it can cause a lot of things. So we want to make sure that we are lowering our stress levels, guys. Okay, make sure you're sleeping well. And again, if it's causing you, listen, I'm telling you guys from just real talk. 2022 for me, for Dr. Nicole, is the year of no stress. All right, this is the year of, if it's bothering me, I gotta let it go. All right, because I'm not gonna have anything stressing me out unnecessarily. There's a little song on YouTube, "You Stress Me Out." No, we're not having that. This is the year of, we're not having any of that. Okay, no increased cortisol for this year. So we are all about lowering our stress levels. All right, so one of the ways that we are going to be improving our blood pressure, improving our risks for cardiovascular disease, like I said, through exercise, through diet, through lowering our stress, but we also want to increase the other hormone that can also help to make us feel good, because when we feel good, it actually helps our heart. Have you guys ever heard of somebody dying from a broken heart? Or dying when they have too much stress? Yeah, it's a real thing. There's actually studies out that can show that people who have a lot of grief, a lot of stress, a lot of unnecessary pressure, it can cause cardiovascular disease, it can cause heart attacks, it can cause strokes, and it can make you very sick. So we are all about trying to decrease the stress, decrease the amount of grief that we're feeling, and we're trying to increase our happy. We're going to find our happy this month because it's Heart Health Month. All right, and one of the ways we're going to do that is by increasing our feel-good hormones. So today I'm going to talk about feel-good hormones, and to do that, in one moment here, I'm going to bring on a real good friend of mine, Dr. Samm Pryce. She's a naturopathic physician. I'm going to let her introduce herself. But I want to talk to you guys really quick. There is a study out. I'm going to just pull it up real quick here. I'm going to put it up on the screen. It says that sorry, y'all, thought I had it pulled up. All right, so the research indicates that engaging in a steady flow of interpersonal touch may enable you to cut the cortisol, right? And this 2022, we're cutting the cortisol, we're cutting the stress. All right, so physical affection may reduce the secretion of cortisol, and which is a stress-induced hormone that can help you in a fight or flight situation, and it elevates your blood pressure and it boosts your energy supplies. But if you are engaging in healthy touch, we are cutting our cortisol. All right, that's one of the things that we want to do. The other article that I wanted to talk to you, not broadcasting to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
The other article I wanted to read you guys was the three biggest advantages of human touch may surprise you. This says that human touch boosts the immune system. Okay, we talked last week about the immune system and lowering your blood pressure. Physical touch is known to improve the function of your immune system as well as reduce diseases such as those associated with the heart and the blood. There was one study on women that was found that receiving more hugs from their partners led to lower heart rates and lower blood pressures. How many of you guys like hugs? I love to get a hug. Like that's like the best for me. In fact, there was a patient um, in the office with me on Friday, and we talked, and it was very heavy conversation, and I had to give a really heavy diagnosis. And after it was all over, I just kind of felt led to give her a hug, and I hugged her, and she cried, and I almost cried myself. And she said she felt so much better after she received a hug. All right, so a hug can make you feel so good, And we're gonna bring Dr. Samm Pryce on, and she's gonna explain to us why do hugs feel good? Why do touches from our partners feel good? Why do all of these feel good hormones? What is happening when we are feeling good? So real quick, I also wanted to tell you guys, I forgot to tell you, and again, you guys go real quick, go hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel. But also head over to Dr. Nicole D.O /shop, and you're going to use coupon code HEART, HEART, all month long, and receive 25% off of all of our cardiovascular supplements and any supplements there to decrease inflammation. All right, so our cold and flu bundle, all of our cardiovascular bundles, all of this decreases inflammation, and you're going to get a coupon code of HEART, HEART, for the entire month of February to get you 25% off. All right, 25% off. That's my gift to you to hopefully make you feel good and help you improve your heart and your cardiovascular supply. All right, so Dr. Samm is my good friend, my very good friend. I would call her my best friend. She is a naturopathic physician, and she does all things well. She has a wonderful conference that we just came back from called Vital the Experience, and it is wonderful, y'all. Please, when I post about it this year, make sure that you sign up for next year because it keeps getting better and better every year. So I am so glad to bring on Dr. Samm Pryce. She's going to talk to us today about the feel-good hormones. I just read to you guys that feel-good hormones help to decrease your blood pressure and help to improve your cardiovascular supply. So welcome, Dr. Samm. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Dr. Nicole. Hey, everybody. I am so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I am looking forward to telling everybody how to get their dose of happiness hormones.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Samm, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do and why you're an expert, why I brought you on today to talk about these happiness hormones.
So, I'm Dr. Price. I am a board certified and licensed naturopathic physician. I'm an expert in natural medicine. Number one best-selling book, which is called The Seven Naturopaths to Transform Your Health. My concierge medical practice and my live event, like Dr. Nicole just said, it's called Vital the Experience. It's a 3-day international wellness retreat. I help you to bridge conventional and alternative medicine to transform your illness into wellness. So I deal in alternatives. So I like to bridge the air on the side of what can we use that we already have or that's already in nature to really boost your health. And so today I want to talk about things that we can do to help with the happiness hormones, like Dr. Nicole just talked about hugs, right? So hugs we know can lower your blood pressure, just make it better. So I kind of want to go through dose. DOSNE, which are the names of 4 different happiness hormones that I want to go through. So it's called Get Your Daily Dose of Happiness Hormones. So the first one is D. E is for dopamine. So can we make the slides just a little bit larger? Is that possible? Or the there we go. There we go. All right. So dopamine actually, hold on one second. Let me slide this over. So dopamine actually enables motivation, learning, and pleasure. It gives you that determination to accomplish your goals, right? So how many of y'all are like sitting at your desk like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this done, right? You need a boost of dopamine is what you need. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to tell you what it looks like when you have a deficiency in dopamine. So a deficiency in dopamine looks like procrastination, like, I'll do that later. Low self-esteem, that's that like syndrome, okay? Lack of motivation, fatigue. So, fatigue's in a lot of these inability to focus, feeling anxious sometimes, feeling hopeless, or mood swings. So, this any of us at any given time, right? So let me tell you, in the medical world, we call it a push. So sometimes we talk about IVs and giving you guys like a push of this or a vitamin or a supplement or something like that. So when I talk about a dopamine push, these are things that you can do naturally to increase your dopamine levels. So one of those things is meditation. You can write a daily to-do list. That would be pretty easy to do, don't you think? Long-term goals, writing them down. Foods rich in L-tyrosine, regular exercise can help with this. Creating something or writing or music, art, right? So we could do something like going to a painting class, like, those sip and paint classes. Those are fantastic. Fantastic. So I know that Dr. Nicole does a lot of exercises on her YouTube channel and she does a lot on her Instagram. So I tend to like the idea of dancing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh my gosh, I'm working out on my Peloton or something like that. It could just be doing some dancing every single day. But I think of the easiest for these in this goal right here is really your daily to-do list, right? So that dopamine level, I think you can increase it if you just write a daily to-do list the night before, looking at it the very next day to have that dopamine push because you already have it written and then you can check it off. So also with tyrosine, so we were talking about supplements and abundantly natural supplements, right? So tyrosine is linked to increasing your dopamine as green tea. So that's a drink to actually boost your dopamine and probiotics. This is also found in Dr. Nicole's line, Abundantly Natural. So that's dopamine. That's the first in the DOSE. So now we're going to talk about oxytocin. Oxytocin in dose. So this gives us that feeling of trust, motivates you to build and sustain those relationships. It's known as the cuddle or the I love this one. When we're having a deficient oxytocin, you feel lonely, you feel stressed. It's that same lack of motivation that you feel with the dopamine deficiency. Fatigue, same as dopamine deficiency. But this one also has a disconnect of your relationships. Like you just don't feel connected to your friends or your family, feeling anxious. This is all. So now you're seeing all of these feelings that you might be on a regular basis. Is it dopamine? Is it oxytocin? Giving you strategies to boost all of them all at the same time. And insomnia. How many of you guys are suffering from, I'm just not getting enough sleep? Well, this is a whole nother topic. If you're sleep deprived, this is Heart Health Month, right? If you're not sleeping well, this can also raise your blood pressure. So if you're getting good sleep hygiene, that means you're going to lower your blood pressure naturally. And so oxytocin might be something that might we can help you increase your oxytocin, which helps you to sleep better, which then is going to lower your blood pressure. But let me tell you how to increase your oxytocin level. Call it an oxytocin push. So physical touch. Dr. Nicole went over this. A hug, right? Socializing. We as humans are social beings. We want to be together. We want to talk to each other. We want to be next to each other. right? Socializing, even if you're just doing it, I am zoomed out. Say I can't do that anymore. But even being on Zoom, just talking to your family and your friends, like having a conversation on the phone, this is also socializing. Being not or isolated actually decreases your oxytocin levels. So socializing is really important for us as humans. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, I can't afford a massage, or massages are too big or something like that. But massages are actually medicinal for you. And so I want you to get that out of your head. Okay. It's very easy to incorporate massage in your daily routine. If you have a friend, if you have a partner at home, if you have a child at home and you're a parent, okay, give a massage to your child and then have your child massage you for 5 minutes. It's the physical touch that's most important. Okay. Acupuncture. I don't know if you've tried it, but it's amazing and it increases oxytocin levels. Listening to music. So you're in the shower. This is super easy to do. Turn on your phone. We've got Pandora, Spotify, YouTube. There's free things that you can use to listen to music. What really resonates with you? I love smooth jazz. Some people like country, but just listening to music can increase your oxytocin levels, right? Cold showers. Now, I know you don't want to hear this, but you can do this every single day. And cold showers actually increase some other dose or the happiness hormone. So you'll hear me say this multiple times. The cold shower, what you're going to do is when you're in the shower in the morning, you're actually going to do your hot shower, lather up. Then I want you to turn a blast of cold water on and rinse off the soap. Then you're going to turn on hot, then a blast of cold water again. Turn on the hot, blast the cold water again. Okay. So this is called hydrotherapy, but you end in cold. And if it's the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, then you can just end in cold. Just one little burst of cold water in the morning can increase the oxytocin levels. Okay.
You know what I love too about the
Meditation.
cold shower, Dr. Sam? When you told me about cold showers, I do the cold showers just kind of give me a little wake up in the morning. Like, okay, I'm up now. Like
Yes.
if I was kind of dragging, I'm up
Mhm.
now with that cold shower part.
Yeah, it increases your ATP. It actually motivates you. And it actually, okay, here's a little beauty. It is the pore as well. So it like helps you not wrinkle as fast. Just saying, okay? So meditation is a good one. So back to acupuncture. So if you don't want to get stuck with a needle, one thing you can think about is doing a tap exercise. So you guys can look this up. Tapping is a way in which we use neuropsychology and pressure points. So we do a karate chop, we do a point in between. So all these points are associated with acupuncture points. Acupuncture points related to meridians. The meridians in our body are related to, let's call it a flow. Okay. So as you're saying things and you're tapping on these points, you're reprogramming the amygdala and the limbic system to think about things stressful in a different way and have a different response to them. So I encourage you to look up tapping. If you go to my YouTube channel, on there as well. So let's get our third in the D, which is your dose of happiness hormones. So the third one is serotonin. So serotonin gives you that feeling of significance or important amongst your peers. So that imposter syndrome again, right? So it's a calm form of accepting yourself with the people around you. Okay. So when we are deficient in serotonin, we've had that low self-esteem, and that was also, I believe, in the dopamine. Was it dopamine? Let's see. Yes, dopamine was a low self-esteem. You're overly sensitive. Like sometimes people can get on your nerves, and you're like, that just didn't make me feel well, or you want to cry or something like that. That might be just that you're having a deficiency in anxiety and panic attacks. mood swings, feelings of hopelessness, social phobia, where you're like, nope, I just don't want to go. I can't go. I have anxiety when I'm around a big crowd of people, obsession about different things. And here we go, insomnia again, right? So, how do we conquer this naturally? There's several different ways that we can conquer it naturally. Exercise. So, remember, I call that movement. Here we go with my cold showers again, right? So all you have to do is just splash in some cold water in the morning, and you've got not only oxytocin, but now you have your serotonin push or boost. Sunlight. Getting sunlight every single day is really, really important. So I live in Michigan and we have pretty gray days. This is that time of the year where we don't get a bunch of sunlight, right? So there's this thing called a Verilux light box, which gives you that same blue light that you get from the sun. It's really good for those people who have SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. So oftentimes levels, that happiness hormone, they get really depressed and they just don't feel really good about themselves, about things. They don't want to go, they don't want to get off the sofa. Things, it could be that the serotonin levels are depleted. It has to do with your vitamin D levels, but that's not what we're talking about today. So it's really important to get this right. And here we go with massage again. I'm telling you guys, massage is medicinal. Now, I forgot to tell you guys that will help with the serotonin. So, serotonin, right, also was probiotics. So, serotonin and dopamine both can be boosted by probiotics, which is an abundant natural line as well. Dr. Nicole's abundant naturally line. And then green tea also helps to boost your serotonin levels and tryptophan as well. Okay. So, what you can also do for serotonin that I wanted to kind of mention here is I am affirmations. I am, I am confident. I am productive. I am sexy. Okay.
There you go.
I am healthy. I have an amazing blood pressure. Right.
Yes.
So you can put it on your mirror. You can have somebody else say it to you. So at Vital, we did this. I really got this from or belong. We got a group of 3 or 4 people. You have a person in the middle, right? And then you have everybody around you. So everybody's intention and focus, the person in the middle of the circle. And what you do is, not only are you touching them and massaging them, you are. You are beautiful. You are accepted. You are powerful. You are you are healed. Did you hear me? You are healthy.
Yes.
So this is a powerful exercise. People in your family. This is something you guys could do every day. It could be your morning routine, it could be your evening routine. So it's something that you could think about, right? All right. So let me go to the in our DOSE dose.
Well, hold on, Dr.
So
Sam.
E
One
is
thing
for
though
endorphin. Oh,
that I love that you incorporate is the tapping along with the affirmations. So saying, I am healed, I am healthy, I am going to make it through this day, I am going to have a great day. I,
yes.
while you're tapping, and it brings all that together, the serotonin, the dopamine, the oxytocin, all of that together, because you're saying the words of affirmation till you believe it. Sometimes might have to repeat it over and over till you believe it, but then with the tapping as well, until you're releasing all those hormones, and you come from that feeling pretty good. I learned that from you.
Yeah. So when we finish this up, we could do a little tapping if we have time. You can tell me if we have time when I finish. Okay. Let me know. Um, so the last one in dose is called endorphin. This is another happiness hormone. So this hormone releases a brief euphoria to mask any physical pain, right? So sometimes you'll see when people break a leg or it's a runner's high, like they've been running, running, running or something, and you're like, I don't know how they're not passed out. It's a masks physical pain or a response to pain and stress to alleviate the anxiety. So a couple of things for the deficiency of endorphins. So if you're lacking some of the endorphins that you need, this is also low self-esteem. And we saw this in dopamine, we saw this in oxytocin as well, I believe. So low self-esteem, overly sensitive, anxiety and panic attacks, mood swings, that feeling of hopelessness, social phobia, obsessions, and right? All of these tend to kind of overlap in some of the other happiness hormones. So you can see where doing one will affect the other. We're doing like these pushes. You might be thinking that you're just doing post push, I mean push, but it oxytocin as well. So I like to try to incorporate, massage into everything, cool showers into everything, because you're boosting up all of them. So let's talk about natural ways to increase your endorphin levels. So laughter, but not just laughter, crying. Crying works as well. So don't be afraid to have a good cry. Crying can be cathartic, right? So sometimes you're like, I just feel like I need to cry it out. Heard that? Have you ever heard that laughter is the best medicine? I'll tell you guys this. So I tend to see a lot of patients who are suffering from cancer. And I tend to partner with Cancer Treatment Centers of America. And on their menu of therapy items, they have laughter therapy. So I prescribe laughter therapy a lot of times for patients who are dealing with grave diseases and illnesses that is really kind of making their mood really gray and glum, right? And laughter therapy, 20 minutes of belly laughing is amazing to give you that push, or that little jolt of endorphin. Really makes you feel a lot better. So another thing is creating music or art. I told you about that in another one. Eating dark chocolate. All right. So,
I'll take
women,
it.
I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That little itty bitty piece of dark chocolate can just make everything feel so much better, right? And I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, but sometimes I've had it before. It's like this little piece of dark chocolate, and they sprinkle some cayenne pepper, or it's got like some on it. Yes. And now why? Because eating spicy foods can also give you that push of an dose that you need. Exercising and stretching is always, I think it's in every single one of them. All right. So people feel so good after they're on a consistent basis of exercising. Now, I'm not saying that you get started exercising and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. After a consistent period of exercising, you will better, right? Massage, here it is again. Meditating, here it is again. So it's been in multiple different ones. So you'll see the same thing over and over again. To just, these are things that aren't necessarily that expensive that you can do at home. You can meditate at home. And I get this often with my patients, Dr. Nicole. I don't know how to meditate, Dr. Sam. There are so many YouTube videos and things meditate. But I will tell you what one of the things for meditating is. Meditating is sitting and being quiet. And guess what? Evening, I will drift off. And then I say, okay, come back. I am meditating. I am thinking of nothing, right? That is a form of meditating. A form of meditating is also praying, believe it or not. Praying is meditating as well, okay? So meditation, it doesn't have to be something that you're experienced with. You can go watch YouTube. You can listen to something and meditate at the same time. Okay. So this DOSE, which is your happiness hormone. So that's dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. So those are your happiness hormones.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. One other article that I found when I was putting this all together was about how there's other types of supplements and things that we didn't talk about today, but one of the ones that I love is turmeric, or which has curcumin in it, and actually curcumin actually helps to also release those oxytocin levels. And so we use turmeric or
Yes.
curcumin for people who have pain and inflammation. So if you're hurting in your joints, and I also always tell my patients we are one being, but we're made of three parts: mind, body, and spirit. And I have never seen somebody who is hurting in their body and it doesn't spill over to their mind, right? And so a lot of people who have chronic
You are
illnesses and
correct.
chronic diseases, they oftentimes will also be dealing with depression and decreased mood because all of those things are spilling over. So by taking something, a supplement, for example, like curcumin or turmeric, can help also increase your oxytocin levels, so that can help decrease your pain, decrease the inflammation in your joints, and it can also make you feel good in your mind and also make you feel good in your body. And then what does that release of oxytocin do? It also helps to decrease your blood pressure. It also helps to decrease the resistance in your blood vessels, and so it improves your cardiovascular disease. Shameless plug here, but in Abundantly Natural, we do have abundant pain support. And that has really great turmeric or curcumin in it, and that can also help, like I said, to increase those oxytocin levels and also decrease your pain, which also helps with your mood, with your mind, and your body. All right. So yeah, guys, these are the things that we can naturally
I
do.
love it. Bring it all together.
Yes, bring it all together. So these are the things that we need to do to have healthy hearts, healthy minds, healthy bodies. And I love the fact, Dr. Sam, that you also talked about incorporating this with your kids. Every morning on their way to school, I make sure my kids do their affirmations. They say, I am smart, I am intelligent, I am talented, I am blessed by God, I'm protected by God, I have angels all around me. So they're going through their affirmations that they have learned to memorize now, but there's sometimes when I give them some extra ones, because I want them to know and to believe it. And sometimes we have to say those words and it releases power, right, into the atmosphere, but it also makes us feel good. And it helps with our blood pressure, it helps with our stress levels, and these are the things that we have to do to remain whole person healthy, right? And so during this month of love, I also wanted to talk to you guys about this dose, because this is how you can incorporate this with your partner, right? So make sure that you're giving your partners massages, make sure that you are touching your partners and that your partners are touching you. And it doesn't always have to be a sexual touch, all right? This doesn't have to just be from your sexual partner, or from, this can be from a parent to a child, or from friends. Sometimes just holding hands, giving a good hug, sometimes just a nice massage or shoulder rub can make you feel so much better. It just kind of makes you relax a little bit and makes you, I can keep on going. I can keep pushing through. All right, so I want you guys to really take that into consideration during this month, this heart month, this month of love, that we are really pushing physical touch and affection to each other, not just because it feels good, but now you understand why it feels good, because you are getting your dose. You're getting your push of dopamine, your push of oxytocin, your push of serotonin, and your release of endorphins. So I hope you guys learned a lot today on Talk with the Doc. I love Dr. Sam. I thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Sam. If they want to reach you, Dr. Sam, how can they do that?
More. DrSamND.com is my website. So that's DRM. N is Catholic, D is in doctor.com. And that is how you find me on all social media. So Dr. Sam ND on social media platforms as well.
Yes, so we will put that in the comments as well. Dr. Sam ND, she is great. She does do consultations. If you want to learn some more about supplements and things, you can, through Abundantly Natural or through Dr. Sam. But please reach out to Dr. Sam. She is available and she is excellent. She's also on, I believe, Clubhouse every Saturday morning, giving different talks about blood
Saturday
types
morning,
and eating right for your...
9.
Yes, absolutely. So check her out. Check out all her social media platforms. And I thank you guys again for joining me today. Again, I'm Dr. Nicole Edwards, board certified family medicine physician and the host of Talk with the Doc. We come to you every Sunday live here on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, guys, remember to click like, share, and follow and subscribe. We will be back next Sunday at 5 p.m. Briefly, I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but we're going to come back next week and talk about exercise, one of those things that Dr. Sam talked about today, because it'll help you release your dose and give you a nice push of dose. But we're going to talk about exercise and how to move your bodies. We are going to have on a certified personal trainer to give you some ways that you can move your body without going to the gym, in case you can't afford it or in case you don't have time, but ways that you can move your body to help improve your heart health and your cardiovascular disease. I thank you guys again so much for joining me today, and we will see you guys next week on Talk with the Doc. Remember, click like, share, and follow, and use your coupon code HEART, HEART, on Dr. Nicole D.O for all supplements related to inflammation and heart health. All right, guys, love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.